It worked. I was gonna straighten that shit out. Straighten it.
Let's see. This is the pre-show, so I like this dynamic of me sitting 3/4 to the left because it doesn't make me look nearly as fat as I normally do. Plus, the tie makes me look thinner. So that is a something.
All right, we are gonna wait.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. What are you doing?
there we go.
All right.
In 3, 2, 1. Is it recording? Is it?
I don't. It says well. There's some crazy note. It's like counting down, not counting up.
What the shit? Oh.
Due to difficulties beyond our technical reasoning, the Team Hammerfist Hour of Power Fun.
Hour fun of power fun.
Hour Fun of Power Fun. Sounds like a Power Rangers podcast.
It was on the space bar. That's why it wasn't. Okay, fuck it. This is gonna go down here.
Oh, God! But it was so well set up.
I know.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
It's gonna be very echoey.
Okay.
When is it not?
Oh, God. Why is that terrible? If we're gonna do this wrong.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't hold itself up anymore.
What do you mean? You just got this.
Yeah, the wife uses that too.
Okay. So it's just broken. So what is the point of this? And why did you turn the camera around?
I didn't. There we go.
Making a dink piece of shit. Can we have one show?
No.
Okay.
Period. The end. All right.
Hold on. Do we need to move this back so we can actually be in frame? Or it can't move back because the cord. Okay, so we're gonna just tilt the camera up. Yeah. All right, there we go. So that's a terrible shot too.
If a cat comes by.
No, all the cats are securely locked in the pool area.
That's kind of. Let's see if we can make the joke, but we did. All right, I'm gonna record now. All right, it's recording.
Okay, there we go. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this month's, week's, year's last episode of Wrestle, Crush, Whatever.
I was trying to formulate a joke in my head about the whole I was like, in like 20 years we're gonna be talking about King Maxwell's victory over Rockstar Spud on the Final Deletion. I was like, yeah, that's gonna be like season 3, episode 4 of our show in like 20 years.
It'd be like episode 10.
Maybe episode 10. All right.
So, on this week's episode, your friends, Team Hammerfist, Jetty is somewhere, will be providing...
Where's Northwest?
Hold on. Okay, so that's 436. So there.
That way.
So that's east.
So we're gonna go back to our old stupid pointing at random shit gimmick from our photo.
This is Northwest.
Okay.
This is Northwest.
You're upstairs.
It's like... diagonal.
That way.
You gotta move in diagonals, Jesse. Haven't you ever seen movies about diagonal? Anyway.
Movies. How do I watch a movie? There's 900 hours of wrestling every week.
Well,
that's just from the WWE.
Well, this week's episode will not feature any wrestling reviews because screw it. We
haven't been watching enough. Total Nonstop Deletion was fun. Brock Lesnar got suspended. 205 Live really isn't that great because Vince is running it. There we go. What else? What's happening?
And you're the one. I'm here to do an award show, but apparently you're doing a wrestling rundown, so I haven't worn a tie.
That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we do the award show now?
We can do the award show.
All right.
Yeah, you're gonna need to. Yeah.
I already have it.
Yeah. Go in order of whatever important.
Really? Of import, not okay.
Starting from least important.
Okay.
Or whatever.
So
obviously the Mayor Award.
I guess that is the least important.
Yeah. I'm saying it was the most important.
Well, let's see. So we've got, to give you an idea, we'll be discussing Wrestler of the Year, our podcast BFFs, because we're awarding them.
Yes.
The Mayoral Appreciation Award, who appreciates the mayor the most. We also have best...
Other way around, but...
No. We also have the best entrance theme. We have the best thing ever, which, of course, is an annual thing. Let's see.
I only added 3 this year.
There's Match of the Year, which will be heavily discussed. And Best Newcomer, which is silly. And Team of the Year, and, of course, Worst Thing Ever. Always going to be Donald Trump being president. But
That's what I want to see. I want to see if like the TNA Grand Championship gets more negative votes than Trump winning the presidency, which is wrestling related.
I'm going to explain this to you. The Trump presidency has the ability to kill all of us. The TNA Grand Championship only has the ability to kill wrestling. All of us, wrestling. You make the call.
Okay.
Let's start with...
Grand Championship will break our spirit.
That's already broken. Let's start with honoring our podcastery friends.
Yes.
People in the world of the internet that have gone out of their way to show their love for our two-man, allegedly, show.
Yes.
Show being the alleged part. And the nominees aren't. The IndieCast.
Yes, so Zach Romero, Luna, Chad. Wonderful folks. Eventually we'd like to do a
the crossover. The crossover is happening.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling, which is apparently the darling of Jesse Long.
It's definitely my most favorite podcast to look forward to every week, and I chat. You go back and forth with. They're good about going back and forth on Twitter with people, and probably more buddies with Sarah than Marty because Marty's a very important comedian. He's friends with Colt Cabana.
Yeah, so's Phil Brooks. How's that working out?
I don't think so anymore.
Oh,
I've heard that fell apart.
Yeah. Well, James Ellsworth is James Ellsworth. Anyway, Wrestling Compadres, which I'm not actually
That's
sure
Fox Sports, the Fox Sports Wrestling podcast.
Yeah, those guys. Those are cool.
They tag us every single week on their show.
Yeah, those guys are cool.
Yeah, they're cool. And fun, small world. One of the hosts, Scott Narber, he may or may not bear a resemblance to Skeeter Skyflyer from On Your Mark show. And, Marky Extreme kind of sort of looks like Shane Hartline.
Ironically, IndieCast literally just tagged us in a photo and Twitter literally just right now.
2 seconds ago.
Literally, as you were telling me that story, it went boop, and it popped up and it said,
find out what the hell it is.
All right. The internet is a thing. And, of course, the last nominee...
It was the Wrestling Mayhem show. Which
show.
Mike is on there. He does the Midweek War.
Well,
I was on the Midweek War.
I was going to say, of all of the shows that we have nominated, only one has actually featured us. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins. Are you in the team?
Almost met Sarah at Disney.
All right,
there we go. Oh, yeah, they just tagged us in a post. That's good.
That's fine.
That's fine.
It's good.
Good.
All right, so, Jesse... Have you decided?
No. There's going to be a poll.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why are we even having a show?
It's not a poll.
No. Okay. The poll will be what the fans decide. But like the Actorial
okay.
College, what we decide matters, even though the fans say won't.
Okay. Well, I think my vote's got to go to the IndieCast. I think.
Really?
Is
it because you and I are, if we combine our heads together, we become Zach Romero?
Yes, and also probably because if we ever ship him a trophy, it's probably the least in shipping. You go to like one of those trophy shops on Narcosi.
We gotta get little plastic fisties.
I was looking last night. I might be able to get a few.
Nice.
Tax return.
I forgot to mention, this week's episode is not brought to you by Starbucks. Not brought to you by Starbucks because it's not the angry cup.
This isn't Christmassy enough. It's all your fault. You're a Jew.
I'm actually less disappointed with these cups than I am with the McDonald's butthole cups.
Oh, I heard about the butthole cups. It's mittens, Rick.
Yeah. Well,
it's all mittens.
Mittens is kittens. So your vote is for the IndieCast.
Yes.
I am going to go out of the box here.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to nominate, and I say the show that should win is the show that actually featured us. And it should be
Those two jerks doesn't count because you're on it.
Fuck you. It's the Wrestling Mayhem show.
Okay. Wrestling Mayhem.
I am throwing all of my significant weight behind them to win this, though I am very much looking forward to the eventual crossover with IndieCast.
It's going to happen. If worst case scenario, it'll happen WrestleMania weekend.
Correct. I am doing this...
Assuming they're coming.
Are they breathing hard? I am doing this specifically because I, of course, am a mark for myself. And whenever I am featured on something, I consider that to be very important.
That's a good plan. We gotta see if we can try to get one or both of us back on the Midweek War.
Yes.
At some point.
Yes. Well, the Midweek War is a live show, unlike our show, which is live but taped. And they have specific time frames in which they are available to do it.
Yes, the butthole of the middle night.
Yes, and as a grown adult with a grown adult job, I am not awake at 11 o'clock. I'm not even awake at 10 o'clock anymore, like seriously.
No, yeah, I'm like falling asleep. I stayed up till like 12:30 making the graphics for this.
But
I'm just sitting there like at the end of... Yeah.
Let's move on to wrestling-related topics, and let's talk about the Team of the Year.
Yes.
And the nominees are The New Day.
Not featuring the Vaudevillains this year.
The New Day, The Broken Hardys, Jericho, which should be right out because they're not even a team anymore. And that was
they were a
stupid.
team for the majority.
You're stupid.
Okay, then you replace them with somebody. Think of a team. A good team that had any significant impact in 2016. Your left and your right balls don't count. Jericho, and then the last one is the Revival. Your favorite tag team.
Listen,
in all of space and time.
Have you watched enough What Culture videos where they actually fully admit that the Revival really is the Minnesota Wrecking
Crew? Oh no, I don't have to watch a What Culture video to watch it.
But they actually said it on there, which means two things. Thing one, I'm right. Thing two, they listen to our shows.
Obviously, King Ross is watching right now. It's like, what time is it there?
Like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Something like that. See? Yeah, it's prime time for watching it. We are the #1 rated Australian wrestling morning show, or evening show. What time?
I'm going to let you just have this one. All right, so let's run this down. The New Day is the greatest tag team in the modern era.
Yes.
Period.
They are I read the WWE posted a thing. They are like the #3 longest reigning champions, period.
Correct.
Like behind Bruno who held the title for 900 years, and then Lex Luger held the U.S. title for 400, upper 400s, a little bit more, like 500 something, a little bit more than the New Day.
All right, well, whatever.
Yeah.
The Broken Hardys, which I don't count as a tag team for reason being that TNA is not a wrestling promotion. But they're very good at what they do, which is being entertaining.
Probably the most, behind the New Day, they're probably the most popular.
I would say they're the most entertaining thing in 2016. Jericho,
Brother Nero flip-flopping a little bit, going from Shell to just Jeff Hardy again. You can see where the tide turned, and they're like, okay, we're faces now. We gotta just have Jeff be Jeff again. But
right. I forgot.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
He's still Brother Nero, though.
Jericho, as I mentioned, not a tag team, does not count.
But they're best friends.
They're not even best friends anymore.
They were up until last week.
Up until last week, Alan Thicke was still alive. 2016 has done a lot of damage.
Okay.
All right, and then finally,
David Tennant's playing Scrooge McDuck.
I don't care.
Okay.
Finally, the Revival. So Jesse Long,
you're not a huge fan of the Revival, but I will say Revival.
Say
yeah.
Say yeah.
I will. I didn't really. Everyone loved the match with DIY from not this past takeover, the one before that. I was like, it's the match of the show. It's the match of the show. Yeah, it was.
The 2 out of 3.
No, the 2 out of 3 is the one I loved.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the 2 out of 3. It was the best show, the best match of the show. The whole thing, Scott and Dash, doing the never let go,
right.
Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed that match more so than it wasn't just the Saturday 605 wrestling that they've been doing for the past year.
Okay.
I think it's got to go to the New Day.
I think it has to go to the New Day.
This past week, I was, we were both sort of just like, okay, whatever, go, be done, New Day.
Get the record, yeah.
But I know you didn't watch Raw, but they did so much to really make the New Day's win matter, and they almost turned them back to awesome faces again.
I think what it shows is two things. I've got this itch in my eye, so I'm sorry it looks weird. It shows a commitment to this team.
Yes.
That is under fire a lot for being outspoken black men in a Trump America.
Yeah.
And
you heard about that post.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it also shows that they're willing to accept that maybe, rarely, not always, but once in a great while, the fans may know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, I think this is it. It's been a good story, like the real story of them. You know, Xavier was probably going to get fired. Big E was probably going to get shipped down. I think they pretty much they literally said this in like their
in their table for
like
three.
No, not their table of three. Like after they after Raw and like .com or something.
Oh, okay.
Xavier was going to get fired. Big E was going to get shipped down to NXT and then probably get fired. And Kofi was just going to go nowhere. He was never going to get.
Kofi. Well,
he was never going to get fired, but he was never going
to go in it. Yeah, exactly.
He was just like superstars and main event, and
well,
they've turned it out. Honestly,
on top of all of that, they made. Let me ask you: in the last 15 years, which title in the WWE's plethora of titles,
the ever-growing,
never-ending, has mattered the absolute least?
After something like the European title,
it has to be current.
Okay, yeah, the tag titles. They were. Especially for a long time, within the past 10 years, non-existent. I would
venture to say that until the New Day went on this run, the tag titles didn't even matter.
No, they didn't.
And that's only a 400 and something day run.
Yeah.
So it's been essentially 1 year of relevance.
No, yeah. I remember when the tag titles were literally on John Cena and HBK while they had a main event at WrestleMania. Neither of them brought out the belts. They lost them like the next night. They won them on a whim. It was literally just I get the idea of that story, but at the same time, okay, they didn't even wear them at WrestleMania.
Right. Why would you? And that wasn't only the first time that had happened. I remember
it's happened a million times.
I remember there's a number of WrestleManias where the tag champs fight each other.
Yeah, or they aren't even there.
In WWE 2K16, one of the matches that you play is Austin versus Michaels while they're the tag champs. Oh
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that was Cena and HBK. They fought each other.
Yeah.
There were a million little 2-second title reigns of like John Cena and David Otunga, and it didn't matter. It was just like this. It was. Obviously all the belts. But it literally was just and the New Day really they made it matter to the point where even this because the New Day did so well with their tag titles, the SmackDown tag titles almost matter just sort of via association.
Right, except that in the two team champions.
Just I think about the WrestleMania moment we're gonna get when American Alpha beats the New Wyatts.
Really?
Maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
It's going to go till WrestleMania.
I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But
Wait, let me ask you a better question. Who the hell is American Alpha?
They're playing the long game, I think, with them.
So when you bring something up that's white hot, that's literally glowing hot.
Yeah.
You want to squish that and say no, not now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not
real quick. Things that were glowing white hot that are no longer glowing white hot. Can we run through this real quick?
Is this going to be a new award? The glowing white hot award.
The glowing white.
It's
knot.
like we took that golden fist and we stuck it in the microwave.
It's the glowing white knot though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so things that were glowing. Yeah, that's good. American Alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Lynch. Let's continue.
She's very hot.
Let's continue. Nia Jax. Let's continue. Let's see. Who else got... Tyler Breeze. Let's continue.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
It's all wrestling now.
Ascension.
Vaudevillains. Tyler Breeze. You said Tyler Breeze.
Yeah. Baron Corbin.
Yeah. I'm gonna drink my coffee in silence now.
So anyway, that's another thing you can vote for. Let's move on.
I'm not making a graph.
That's fine.
It's just gonna be the hell.
This is my co-host.
Moving on.
Okay, let's discuss our best. This is the stupidest category. Best newcomer.
The best newcomer. What? We've had a lot of newcomers to the WWE.
Okay, first of all,
wrestling this year.
3 of the 4 of these are just WWE newcomers. They're not newcomers at all.
Well, yeah, that's what they're newcomers to the WWE.
But one of them isn't even in the WWE.
Yeah, I stuck that in last night. It was like 12:30. I wasn't thinking about that. I want to see if King Maxwell can get more votes than Shinsuke Nakamura.
So the best newcomer to, I suppose, the WWE or whatever the hell we're going with is...
There was literally... I was trying to... It was either going to be King Maxwell or it was going to be the Cruiserweights. Well, that doesn't count. Yeah, exactly. So I was trying to think of like good newcomers.
Glowing white hot, the cruiserweight division in its entirety. By the way, did you notice how fast they got the belt off of T.J. Perkins? Almost as though it was never supposed to be him who won it in the first place.
Why forever do you mean, Rick?
I don't know. Sign the contract.
Yeah.
So Shinsuke Nakamura...
Maybe we'll get Zach in the UK tournament next.
He's not even announced.
I know, but maybe he'll win the UK title sometime next year.
All right, so Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobbert Roode, Adonis James Stylen, and of course King's Maxwell. My vote...
He's like the most literal newcomer because he was born like a year ago. I wanted to try to fit as much broken stuff into this awards
just so we can get the clicks.
Yes, exactly.
Were we set up by Putin as well? Like, are we here to get the clicks? Nah. Actually, I guess technically, I'm Prussian, so anyway.
There you go.
I'm actually going to surprise.
Is that what
it's Sosmanovic, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's basically what is Czechoslovakian.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I'm going to surprise you.
Okay.
My vote, the significant sus man push.
Well, yes.
Will go to...
That needs a shirt.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
I can't argue with you. Like, he's had a hell of a year. I mean, like AJ Styles.
I cannot wait
Yeah.
for him to get elevated to the WWE now that he's...
Imagine that.
Now that he's white hot.
Yeah. And then they team him with Rene Dupree.
What is going to happen to Shinsuke in the main event, on the main roster?
If he's on Raw, absolutely nothing.
Right.
If he's on SmackDown, significantly better chance of actually mattering.
Because on Raw, we've created a belt just for Raw.
A belt that would look absolutely wonderful on Shinsuke Nakamura, by
Correct.
the way.
Or Finn Balor. And then what have we done with this belt?
We've made it subordinate to a clipboard and a clicky pen. And a guy who isn't going to win the title.
I love how much money they put into the Universal title.
They finally actually got a Universal title plate made recently. I don't know if you...
I haven't, but I guess they got it remade.
If you saw in the very beginning, you know how it says like World Heavyweight Champion on the main belt? It was a little bit of a lip, and you could see it was like a heavy metal sticker over the and it said Universal Champion. Like just recently, like the past like month or so, they got like a real belt,
so
like an etched, like an actual
plate.
etched belt instead of just like WWE title with a sticker on it. Yeah, the Universal title has had a bit of a... it's gotten to the point where I don't dislike the name or the look of it anymore. I just sort of accepted it, and...
I agree.
I see it as, it's interesting what they're doing on Raw, because the Universal title has almost no meaning. But on the flip side of that, they have also been putting a lot of emphasis on the women's title, so like, and...
Just stop.
Yeah.
Listen, why did they have the brand split?
To elevate, to make more money.
To make more money, to sell more toys, to bring in more belts.
Yeah.
To have more champions.
Yeah. More toys.
More toys. Fine.
Yeah.
Why was it that you and I were so furious about the Universal title to begin with?
Well, this sounds stupid. Yeah.
If you're going to have a belt that is your belt for your show, and it's not
just... And devalue the WWE title.
Correct. And it's not just called the Raw Heavyweight Champion, which, here's a dumb idea, and this is going to be really stupid, but hear me out. What if you had a Raw Heavyweight Championship and a SmackDown Heavyweight Championship, and then you had a Universal Championship, and the Universal Champion was only defended 4 times a year? Guess when?
Let's see. Roadblock?
No.
Fastlane?
No.
Bash at the Beach?
No. Well, maybe. What if this Universal title that you're so desperate, you're doing the South Korea prayer thing, that come on guys, that we need this win. You're so desperate to make this belt worth something. What if you only defended it 4 times a year at the big 4 pay-per-views? And guess who gets to fight the Universal Champion?
The Raw and or SmackDown champion.
And whoever whoever has that's their show this year, So, like...
Well, the big fours are co-branded.
All right, well, whatever.
I get what you're saying. You know, you have, like, these show champions and then
an actual company champion.
Or just have the United States title and the Intercontinental title.
You could do the same.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get rid of titles. We need to add more. Because that's what's going to make people want to buy more stuff.
Course. Yeah. You need a big blue belt and a big red belt.
Except we don't have a big blue belt. It's still black.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, we're off topic. Shinsuke Nakamura...
They renamed it just the WWE title now. It's not even the world title anymore.
Good. Shinsuke Nakamura over Bobby Roode, over AJ Styles, and over King Maxwell. Only because Bobby Roode has done very little.
No, he hasn't done much. But, I mean, honestly, in this grand scheme of newcomers to the WWE this year, I was kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, we're talking, like, Ember Moon and, like...
Well,
Daria Baronato.
It's hard to say because there's so much going on in NXT that nobody's paying attention to.
This is true, yeah.
Because NXT has been in a holding pattern since Finn got called up.
Yeah, that's true. You know.
AJ has been great, but we're going to get to AJ's stuff later. And then King Maxwell, that's cute, but let's move on.
Yeah.
So we've got our team of the year. We've got our best newcomer. We've time to move to, let's say, you know what? I just teased it a little bit. Let's go to best entrance theme.
Yes. See, this is where, I mean, it's sort of similar to Best Newcomer, honestly, but...
And the nominees are all going to lose to Glorious by Bobby Roode.
Yeah. I mean, I love Nakamura's theme.
Oh, sure. But it's not better than Glorious.
No.
But if you were interested, it's the Rising Sun, the Future, which is Asuka's, Bobby Roode's Glorious Domination, and then... The Obsolete Suite.
That's what the Hardys the Broken Hardys theme when Rebby plays on the piano and they come out.
All right.
It's scraping the bottom of the barrel for some of these.
There is nothing better than Glorious.
No, it became a meme. It obviously
it defines perfectly the character.
Yeah.
Never, but rarely. Yeah. Does someone's theme music perfectly explain who and what they are?
Yeah, no, it's perfect. I will love to see what kind of WrestleMania entrance Bobby Roode gets, like, not this coming year, but like maybe like next year. I don't think Bobby Roode's going to be at WrestleMania this year.
It's in Orlando.
Do it on the physical WrestleMania in the Citrus Bowl.
Right.
You know, I'm talking like the big WrestleMania stadium entrance.
All right.
Nakamura, maybe. Like, we might, maybe Nakamura at WrestleMania this year. And I'm going to love that entrance.
Yeah, and then...
Only if we can get, like, Lee England actually playing the violin again. Because the last TakeOver entrance was a little weird. With the people not playing the violin. Just, like, fake playing the violin. Like, it was a little weird. Whatever.
All right. You know what I want, though, more than anything, is I want the violin from Revenge of the Nerds, that like neon glowing one.
Who played the violin?
I forget.
Was it the Asian one?
No. It was the super nerdy one who didn't talk.
Oh, okay.
He might have been on the spectrum. Now that I think about it, when you really go back and look at that, it was nonverbal. Let's move on.
Yes,
because this is getting weird. And speaking of getting weird, it's time for my favorite category. The mayoral appreciation.
I'll just sit over here.
There we are.
I'm going to have to censor this video now.
No, we won't.
Tag it as adult.
Yes, for the 3 people watching.
Not even.
Yeah. We have many friends in the world of the WWEs, also in the TNAs, also in the indie circuits.
Yes.
We have lots of buddies from all around the world who, over the years... You know what? We'll expand upon this.
Okay.
It dawns on me now that we really have become this, like, really microscopic global phenomenon.
Yeah, we're kind of like maybe, I don't want to sound too egotistical, but I almost want to say the biggest podcast that nobody listens to. The biggest podcast nobody's ever heard of.
Any of those things. Like, when you really think about the amount of what we have done. Listen, this is going to sound really ingratiating of ourselves. All right. I got to come with a double. But we created this whole concept in your living room for a project for your school 15 years ago.
Yeah, no, 10. But whatever. It feels like 15. I've had kids. They drain the life out of you. All the life.
Daddy loves you. It's okay. Daddy's okay.
I love him. Christmas is expensive.
You all get paper and pen.
There's a reason why
draw whatever the hell you want.
You have the gift of imagination.
Fucking use it. But yes.
No, yeah, we, like...
Over a decade ago.
Yeah. Yeah, there were no real... I mean, were there... I don't even know if
there was Meltzer. Meltzer was doing a radio show.
Yeah.
But no one was really doing...
I think, like, Colt Cabana said... Like, I would listen to his podcast, and he was saying he was doing this, like, in some form, like, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah, well, but 10, 12 years ago, podcasts didn't exist.
There was no podcast.
There was no podcast. There was... I mean, your school, you graduated from Full Sail,
yes.
created the idea of podcasting being a phenomenon, a worldwide thing.
Yeah, no, they definitely sort of put the bug in for, like, you know...
And it was also a very naturally occurring thing as well. But, yeah, over the years, we sort of, by hook or by crook, kind of created wrestling podcasts.
We were one of the earlier wrestling podcasts. Like this, we were a wrestling podcast before wrestling podcast became a thing. Like nowadays,
everybody has one, and they're all much better than ours.
Well, yeah, and you know, I remember you go onto like iTunes and you look at like the sports and recreation category.
Yeah.
There were, you still couldn't find us, but there weren't that many wrestling podcasts.
Yeah, we used to be like fourth on the list. Now we're like 500.
We were like 500th back then too, but.
I meant just wrestling based.
Oh, just wrestling based. Yeah.
Qualifier.
There is
qualifier.
Yeah, there's like hundreds and hundreds of wrestling podcasts, and they're all better than us. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the best wrestling podcast you've never heard of.
The best wrestling podcast you've never heard of.
I'm gonna go with that. It's gotta be a shirt.
So we have many friends. As we
just give ourselves the award.
Let me do the goddamn category.
There you go. Okay.
Of those many friends, we want to honor, by honoring us, people such as my good friend, Simon Gotch, my good friend, Jason Ayers, my good friend, myself, and for whatever reason, What Culture is on here, and I don't
because
know
you love What Culture so much.
Anyway, the winner... As always...
We can't put Gail Simone on this list, too.
We could. The winner, as always, as it will always be...
Does she even know what wrestling is?
Of course she does. I talked to her relatively recently. Is me. I am the winner of the Mayoral Appreciation Award because I appreciate me more than anyone else. Even my tie won't hurt me, Jesse. Because it appreciates me so much. You can vote for whoever... I don't know why you would vote for who I appreciate the most. I don't see how that works, but this guy came up with the category, so it's not my fault. But, yes, the winner is me. I is the winner.
A winner is you.
I don't do drugs anymore. That much. Mm. Until it becomes legal again. Then I'll do whatever.
Not with Trump.
Every goddamn day. No. That's a state thing.
Oh, it's a state thing. Yeah. But they're going to overturn state.
No.
They're going to go against
No, they can't.
Laws.
No,
they don't care about laws.
No. That passed. So now all they can do is regulate it. Oh. And they can make it really hard for you to get weed, but eventually it's just going to have to happen.
Oh.
Well, medically speaking.
Yeah.
But...
You're going to stub your toe every damn day.
No. There's things that you have to have in order to quantify for it.
Yeah, I know.
One of them is, say, a permanent, never-ending, debilitating back injury.
All right! Hey!
I'm getting hot.
You got a contact high there.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Let's talk about. Okay. Now it is time. Now it is time to dance. Let's talk about the match of the year.
Okay.
All right.
You skipped a couple.
No. We're jumping. I'm doing like what I think's most important.
Oh, okay, cool.
Match of the year is big.
Okay.
But it's not like
match of the year.
Not wrestler of the year. We haven't gotten to it yet. That's going to end the show. I promise.
Yes.
Match of the year. Let's begin. Nakamura and Zayn and Dallas.
Now, this isn't always going to be like what everybody else considers.
No,
this is us.
Yeah.
This is our picks.
Sasha and Charlotte. I can't read that.
From the Falls Count Anywhere match they had on Raw this past week.
Oh, yeah.
I personally think that's the best match of their series that they've had.
Ibushi Alexander from the second round of the CWC, in which Alexander got signed because of it. Thanks, Ibushi.
Yes.
And the final deletion.
It was a match.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Your choice.
My choice.
I think you sort of let the cat out of the bag here.
Well, no. I think Zayn Nakamura was probably my favorite match.
Incorrect.
It wasn't my favorite?
No.
Okay. It's Final Deletion.
It is Final Deletion.
Okay, we'll go with Final Deletion.
And it is also my pick as well.
Okay.
And
I pick it too.
And I will explain.
Okay.
Zayn and Nakamura had a wrestling match for the ages.
Yeah.
And oh my God, was it good.
No, it honestly was fantastic.
And at one point, they weren't even wrestling. They were actually just physically hurting each other.
Beating the shit out of each other.
Right. Which is not wrestling. To continue. Sasha and Charlotte have had incredible matches all over the world, baby. We have matches in New York. We have matches in Orlando. We have matches in Fort Pierce. We have matches in Jacksonville. We have matches in Daytona Beach. You see where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
But also...
Not as good as Dusty.
Yeah, never as good as Dusty.
Matches on the moon.
But also, we've had those matches in Daytona and Jacksonville. And eventually, like with, anytime Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have a match, it's invariably very good.
Yes.
But also, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I know. And they're, like, this isn't like, I put the match in there because of the match itself, but the feud itself. And the fact that they literally every single month is the first, like, sparse out your history a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I get it, you want it to be Charlotte and Sasha.
Listen, it's fabulous, and it's great for the industry,
yeah.
and it's doing more.
And it's getting to the point where it's not a huge deal. It's not even a huge deal that tomorrow they're having an Iron Man match.
That's fantastic.
And maybe it's going to main event. I think it should.
It probably should.
I mean, how do you put, like, Owens and Roman after
a
30-minute Iron Man match?
No, you don't. And I think all that is.
And they've had probably the biggest feud of the year.
Sure, they probably had feud of the year.
Yeah.
But also, I'm tired of it. And
I'm
not
ready
going
for it
anywhere. And they brought up. Oh, hey! You remember when Bailey was? White hot? I remember Bailey being white hot too.
No, I think, and I think that's what they're sort of getting ready to do. I think tomorrow, hopefully, will be the end of their feud, at least for a while.
You have literally said what you're about to say on this podcast 3 times. They're not pulling the trigger on Bailey.
You don't think it's going to be Sasha Bailey at Mania? Who do you think? Do you think it's going to be Sasha and Charlotte again?
I think it should be Sasha Bailey.
I think that's what they're going to do.
But
they don't have any other choice. It's not going to be like Sasha Dana Brooke.
Listen, it's December.
Yeah.
WrestleMania is in April. Are we really going to get 4 months of build?
No. We're not going to get 4 months of build. We're going to get 3 months of stalling.
Right.
And we're going to get 1 month of build. Or 2 months of stalling, 2 months of build.
No, because it's April 1st normally.
Okay, so we're going to get 2 months of stalling, 1 month of build.
Right.
Like, there's going to be, like, next month at the Royal Rumble, it's probably going to be, like, Sasha and Bailey versus Charlotte and Dana, or Sasha versus Nia, because that's
Again. So that's why
holding pattern of 2 months.
That's not why it's not my pick. Cedric and Ibushi. This I actually think is great, except for
it was the best match of the tournament itself, I think.
Well, if not for the horrible screw up by Ibushi in the Ibushi and Kendrick match. That was actually a better match.
Yeah.
But they had to restart the match. I was there live. I saw it happen. He screwed up. He forgot to get back in the goddamn ring. But it's also spoiled.
And I didn't put that on there because he kicked out of the Burning Hammer, and I didn't want you to have an aneurysm again.
Well, see, here's the thing though. That's terrible.
Yeah.
But also, it made sense because Kendrick's a Gaijin. It happened in America and not in Japan. A Japanese man...
Chemical reactions based on...
Yeah, well, a Japanese man kicked out of the Burning Hammer, which is important. So...
Yeah.
At the time, I was livid, and I'm still a little over the moon about how bad it was to do that in front of a live audience, but I understand the rationale.
Yeah. And then, obviously, the Bosch thing, where they... Yeah. I think of the matches in the tournament... Ibushi Alexander told the most story.
Correct. That's where I was going.
You really you felt the emotion.
Absolutely.
Like I didn't. I wasn't there, but you were.
Yeah.
And you could feel the emotion of
the match.
And then Cedric getting basically. I mean, they didn't sign it in front of everybody, but he got signed. He got signed off of that match. Yep. Triple H coming out. Giving the thumbs up to everybody.
It was an incredible emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And the match was very, very good. But also, I don't think it changed anything, because ultimately, when you look at these match of the year candidates that you're talking about, and I'll review them again, it's Zayn Nakamura, which ultimately did nothing except two men killing each other.
It was Sammy going off and Nakamura going on a tear. But yeah.
Right. Sasha and Charlotte, which continues a feud that will never end. Cedric and Ibushi,
it was kind of for nothing.
It was kind of for nothing because Ibushi didn't sign and now it's pointless. But then you have the final deletion, which on this very show, I'm willing to admit, I thought was a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. Until I started actually paying attention to what was happening. It redefined wrestling.
It absolutely did. The final deletion has been, honestly, it's been the biggest thing of the year, and I never really thought that. And we'll talk about it too in like the next category of like this will dovetail into the best thing ever category, which we can get to right now.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that in the year 2016 with Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy, and that it would create the best and most enjoyable thing.
And what was essentially a backyard wrestling chicanery.
Oh, no, yeah. And I watched, and like, so yeah, the final deletion match of the year. Dovetailing into
best thing ever.
Best thing ever, which we put as just Broken Brilliance. That was, what I call it. Broken Universe.
Whatever. Well, the best thing ever for 2016 is Broken Brilliance, the CWC, Ricochet and Ospreay having that
superhero match.
That superhero match. Very good.
It was great. Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
And AJ Styles' WWE debut, which doesn't count because we never saw it.
No.
Because Roman Reigns, they were too busy looking at Roman.
So much better if you get on like YouTube and you go like AJ Styles.
Yeah, I know.
They had like the WWE posted the alternate angle because they realized they fucked up.
Right.
And so I'm sure somebody got fired off of that. And they showed like the alternate angle of AJ of like the crowd exploding when it said phenomenal across the screen, and that's a much better viewing experience of it. But yeah.
This guy.
Fucking Roman. I didn't put him on the worst thing ever, but
he's not.
No, he is.
I'm going to make an argument. So the AJ Styles WWE debut is right out.
Okay.
The CWC is also right out, but not because it was
because we were unhappy when we left.
No, not even that. It's not even any of that. It's because ultimately, as you mentioned, the cruiserweights have been
the cruiserweights have
been a complete waste.
Yeah, they've been a complete waste. The central, like the nucleus of the CWC.
You used the photo with both of us.
It's a very specific. Yeah.
Just noticed that.
Yeah. I did that on purpose. By the way,
can zoom in. Where's the camera on your phone?
It's right there.
You can't see it because
there you
go. There's us. Forever enshrined with the original CW.
Not my screenshot, by the way.
Yeah, that's the WWE screenshot.
No, it's not WWE. But if you Google Cruiserweight Championship 2016, it's like it's like 3 rows down, and there's our dumbass mugs, and you're going.
Which almost makes it the most important thing ever, by the way. Because again, I'm Rick, and I vote for myself. Now, before we get into why Broken Brilliance wins, let's talk about the superhero match.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm going to preface it. Imagine, if you will, that Broken Brilliance didn't happen this year.
Okay.
If that's the universe we live in,
then, or TNA has actually gone under. And
yeah, whatever. If that's the universe we live in, then this is the most important thing ever and the best thing of the year.
I can't argue with that.
I think it
was an amazing, fun thing.
Yeah, it suffered from one thing, and that was it was too early.
Vader?
Well, no, because Vader's reaction to it, and Will Ospreay eventually putting Vader over, reminded us all. It's all very. This is great, and it made wrestling relevant again.
No, it definitely did, and it got people who even weren't into wrestling, and it went super viral. It went like mainstream viral for a hot minute, and it was one of the biggest things.
I mean, hashtag
it got more viral than Broken stuff. Honestly,
oh yeah, no, absolutely. But it didn't have legs. It ran and it ran, but then it just was like, oh, okay, I'm good. Broken Brilliance was like.
Oh no, yeah, delete,
and it just keeps going.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like the Broken Universe is just. I mean, it's still ongoing,
right?
And Ricochet and Ospreay, they had a really good match, and it just. I mean, it put over Ricochet and it put over Ospreay.
Yeah,
and, like Ospreay's in Ring of Honor now, and Ricochet's. He's in Japan, but he's also he may or may not bear a resemblance to Prince Puma.
But Broken Brilliance completely redefined wrestling.
It absolutely did.
It made wrestling fun again.
It saved TNA. It saved what value does TNA have outside of
Broken valid.
Yeah,
okay, I see what you're saying.
I watched an entire episode. I skipped the world title match because I really didn't care. I really didn't care. I mean, Bobby Lashley versus Eddie Edwards, I don't care. But I watched an episode of Impact. I put it on when it came on, and then I watched it later. But I watched the rest of it later. But it actually made me care about TNA. Right. I added TNA to my DVR. I actively I go to the TNA YouTube channel and I watch video clips of TNA.
And what it is it harkens to
I know what's going on in TNA based on me following.
Right. It reminds you of when you were a kid, when you watched wrestling because you just wanted to be entertained.
Exactly.
And you don't care that it's a work, and you love that people are actually murdered. It's so ridiculously over the top.
It's the same thing. It's akin to why we love Lucha Underground so much.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right.
I mean, Lucha Underground obviously have infinitely better production value, better storytelling. Lucha Underground is like the great movie version of sort of like the Broken Brilliance is sort of like the the fun college video of like Lucha Underground.
It's collegehumor.com versus Funny or Die.
Yeah, exactly. So I love the I actually watched an episode of Impact. I watched Total Nonstop Deletion.
I hear you.
I watched a baby pin Rockstar Spud after Rockstar Spud got tased. I watched Vanguard 1 challenge a woman for the Knockout #1 contendership. ODB. Vanguard 1 motorboated ODB.
I can think of worse things.
But anyway, it was
Broken Brilliance.
Yeah.
You can vote, of course, if you think we're wrong. But you're wrong, because we're right. Now,
you are wearing a tie.
Thank you. It's a nice tie. Before we finish with Wrestler of the Year, which is going to cause much debate, let us discuss the worst thing ever.
Okay.
We have
done in wonderful poop Comic Sans.
That was good.
Yeah,
I like that with Comic Sans. We have the following things, and it's not what you think it is. I'm just going to say that. We have the absolute burial of the Ascension and the Vaudevillains. We have whatever they were trying to do with Anderson and Gallows.
Yeah, Dr. Gallows, Dr. Anderson. I didn't want to just say the burial of Gallows and Anderson.
Because it was so
it's not necessarily a burial, it's just a complete and utter mistreatment.
Yeah.
They're the fucking Bullet Club.
Yeah, I know.
They debuted this year. It's the Bullet Club. The two main guys from the Bullet Club. And they're making stupid ball jokes and losing every single match.
The TNA Grand Championship, which cost Diglett his job. Yeah, it didn't, but whoever. Yeah. And Donald Trump wins the election. Now, we make a lot of Trump jokes, and God knows we should, because eventually we won't be allowed to, because Glorious Leader will not have that. But it's actually not Donald Trump.
This would have been a great point to have, L off camera with, a laser pointer point. You got something on your face there.
It's not Donald Trump winning the election because, whatever. Listen, that's the
worst thing ever in life.
That's its own ball of shit that we're not going to bother with. It's not the TNA Grand Championship anymore because that has already been degraded as a pointless.
Well, that was the point. Yeah, it's the worst. It's the dumbest thing ever, and it wasn't even supposed to be. You can see from a mile away, it was just this dumb afterthought,
right?
Because the grand part, it was supposed to be their new. That belt was supposed to be their new world title,
absolutely,
and. Even the design of the belt. I mean, I'm a belt mark, so I
squares on squares.
Yeah, they had those rectangular bits are supposed to look like plates or tape or something connecting the main plate to the side plates or something like that. But they're not actually.
No, I hear you. But the reason why it doesn't matter is it's TNA.
Exactly.
And what did we just spend 20 minutes talking about?
Yeah. If it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It's not.
Now, Jeff won the Grand Championship. That might be worth something.
It's not the burial of the Vaudevillains and the Ascension for one reason.
Because you don't want to be super biased.
Well, okay, for two reasons then. Also, those guys still have jobs.
They do still have jobs.
And they're still on TV every week, give or take.
and they're still doing what they wanted to do with their lives. So good for them.
Good for them.
The worst thing ever is the complete and total unimaginative dealings of Gallows and Anderson. And the reason why it's the worst thing ever is it shows what we've been talking about with WWE. It even bleeds into the burial of the White Hot, the whole White Hot group.
Yeah.
They have no idea what to do with these guys.
No.
They go out, they sign the biggest names in the industry for whatever reason.
This time last year, Gallows, Anderson, Nakamura, AJ Styles, all in New Japan. There was rumblings that they might be coming.
Right.
But that notion was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, Chris Hero's coming back too. Yeah, Matt Hardy's going to NXT. No, AJ Styles and Nakamura, they're not coming. It's a fun idea, but it's not happening.
Right. And then they did.
And then they did. And holy shit, I remember when they debuted. I mean, we all knew they were coming, and they kind of waited a little too long to debut them. But when the Bullet Club showed up on Raw and killed the Usos, that was amazing.
It really was.
And
the problem, though, is they brought them in the middle of them deciding that the New Day is going to have
you can definitely see, looking at Gallows and Anderson, that they decided, at least Vince decided, that the New Day was going to hold the title. Or at some point between Gallows and Anderson getting a push, and because they got a little bit of a push in the beginning.
Yeah.
And they had the feud with Roman and the Usos, and that was, so there was a bit of a push. And then at some point in their push, Vince, or somebody, probably Vince, decided that the New Day were going to keep the belts
and break the record.
They were gonna keep them from. They were gonna hang on to them for now. And then it was, oh hey, we're so close to this record, we really should.
Yeah.
They should break it. And so every team on Raw, not just Gallows and Anderson, but every team on Raw has absolutely zero value. I mean, I'm not saying Golden Truth needed a tag title run, but I can't even really think about the tag teams on Raw outside of Gallows and Anderson.
What it shows is that they are misfiring so much.
Yes.
Because all you had to do to correct this situation, even when it was looking dire, is just move Gallows and Anderson over to SmackDown and just let the club be the club.
Yeah.
And then they can be the badass stable of heels that just ruins everybody's good time.
If Gallows and Anderson had been the first SmackDown Tag Team Champions, that would have been fantastic.
Then AJ
and then New Day are still feuding with nobody.
Yeah, doing whatever the hell they want.
They're still feuding with Sheamus and Cesaro and
great, whatever.
the Shining Stars.
Yeah, who cares? Let Raw have its comedy acts.
Yeah,
and then move the badass,
which we've already talked about and established. They're still good. I mean, it still works. And I'm glad the New Day I'm glad the New Day broke the record.
But that's not why it's the worst thing ever. It's the worst thing ever because they don't know what to do with new talent.
No, they absolutely
have no idea what to do with new talent.
Exactly. They don't know. Yeah, they just don't know what to do, and
I wonder
to the point where you have to feel like especially with the stupid ball jokes and the doctor stuff.
I wonder aloud, if Finn had not gotten injured, how different this year would be.
It's true. You have to wonder, would Finn have turned heel, joined with the club finally?
Yeah. Would that have been the dominant heel stable?
I think that they might have. Even if they had been the backup of Finn, they wouldn't have necessarily needed the belts.
No, they could.
At the very least, they were still the club, and they're too sweeting all the time, and they're being the club, and they're being the new NWO, and so it's just a bad combination.
It was a bad situation that became worse with the injury to Finn, which honestly,
and if they don't win the tag, titles, if they don't beat New Day for the tag titles,
then it was all worthless.
What the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
Please trade them to SmackDown.
And that brings us to our final category,
yes,
which we will debate.
I'll do the technical awards on the Facebook group.
Technical awards,
because they're technically awards.
Let's begin.
I gotta give Leva an award, Leon, Jetty.
Yeah, that's fine. Wrestler of the Year. Interesting that this was your picks, but that's fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
Wrestler of the Year. We have.
If you want to counterpoint any of these, you go right ahead.
I'll think if I can think of one.
Okay. There you go.
We have Samoan Joe, Broken Hardy, Matt.
Yes. Broken Hardy, Matt.
Broken Harmony.
Broken Harmony.
Broken Harambe.
Harambe.
Styles, AJ.
Yes.
And Flair, Charlotte.
Yes.
This is a pretty good selection.
Yeah.
I'm going to...
And I didn't just, like, token a woman in there, because, like, last year was 3 dudes and Sasha. But, honestly...
Yeah, no. I'm going to remove one of these right out of the running.
Okay, go ahead.
That is Samoan Joe.
Okay. Why?
This is going to be unfair to him, but it's true. He has been exactly the same guy for 15 years, and that guy is a 4-star match guy every single time he gets in the ring.
Yes. Aside from when he had that really stupid face paint.
Well, we don't count that.
He got worse.
Yeah. Every time Samoa Joe gets in the ring, it's a 4 to 5-star match. You're not going to do worse. Samoa Joe could wrestle me to a 5-star match. And that's because I'll just get beat up and people will be like, yeah, make him dead. And be like, please don't kill me anymore, Samoa Joe. And he'll just keep killing him.
Joe Gone killed me.
Joe done killed. But he's stale as all hell. And it's not his fault.
No. He has definitely been revitalized since coming to the WWE.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But it's best shape that he's been in.
Yeah. But if I'm not mistaken, we had this blow-off match with him and Nakamura in Nakamura hometownville.
Yeah.
In which he lost. And you said to me, I bet you Joe debuts tomorrow, and that's why he lost. What's happening at the next NXT TakeOver?
Joe's not there.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's Nakamura.
No.
Yeah.
What are you? You're crossing your wires. It's Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode who's in what is it? Houston. Takeover Rumble.
Yeah.
You're thinking of the cage match?
Yeah.
That happened in Australia.
Right.
Okay, this is what. Okay, it's been a little muddy the past couple weeks.
Right.
Okay, so the Osaka match, they're hyping them like they're big matches.
Right.
They're house show matches.
Right.
They're like we had and basically like Nakamura practice almost not really, kind of sort of quickly beat Joe. And then he had like a cage match, which apparently was just, I didn't watch it, whatever. It was sort of just like the cage was barely even a thing. But so, they were house show matches.
So maybe he finally makes his debut.
I feel like
he might be a Rumble entrant.
He's got to be a Rumble entrant. And side note, if Ty Dillinger doesn't debut in the Royal Rumble at number 10, I'm terrified that there might be a riot, because everybody wants it. This is like every single person in the world, even Nikki, who hates wrestling, she wants him to. She wants Ty Dillinger to be in at number 10.
That would be funny.
He has to debut at number 10.
Okay. Anyway,
Bobby Roode is who's facing.
But that's why Joe's like he's Joe. You know what you get. Matt Hardy is not the winner.
Okay.
He is,
despite the fact that he saved TNA.
And he saved wrestling.
He did.
But he is not a good wrestler.
No, he hasn't really wrestled. Yeah, he threw water at people.
He's an amazing entertainer. Yeah. But I saw a video of him at WPCW Delete.
Yes.
And he looks fat.
Yes.
To which I say, good on you, sir. I am proud of you. And I am happy for you. Because that means that you don't have to work nearly as hard and that you're doing everything.
I mean, he's 42 years old and he's figured out a way to make himself... Yeah. He's the more popular Hardy.
Yes.
Like, can you...
Finally.
It's been, like... The Hardys have been around for like 20 years at this point. And can you think of a time where Matt was more popular than Jeff? No, it's always been Jeff. Even when Jeff was in TNA.
If this were called Entertainer of the Year, I say Matt Hardy wins it walking away.
No, of course.
But it's called Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah. He's probably already going to win like half the polls anyway.
I know. So that leaves us with AJ Styles and Charlotte.
Yes.
I am going to choose, of those two, Charlotte.
I agree. AJ had, obviously, he debuted after having an amazing match with Nakamura. I almost thought about putting AJ Nakamura from Wrestle Kingdom on the list. It was amazing.
Only because of the bullet catch.
Oh, it was such a great match. Honestly, it was a wonderful match.
It was.
Like, that wins the technical award for match of the, like a separate match of the year. The
Crispin Hua Technical Brilliance Award?
Japanese Match of the Year. We'll go with that. Japanese Match of the Year. They're like little silver fists that are like about half the size. And
you get like 8 of them and then you go for the actual match.
Yeah, it's like a punch card.
You redeem them and it's the Match of the Year of the Gods title.
Yeah, there you go. Match of the Year. Yeah, give it to the Lucha Underground. Lou. How do you chant for Lucha? Oh, they just chant Lucha, right?
Lou.
Lou. Lou. Lou. Lou. Lou.
L-U, 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 L-U.
L-U. L-U. L-U. L-U. Yeah, because it was always W.
Yeah.
EC dub.
So
EC dub is just... Well,
EC
they didn't get the U sound, so it's just L...
L-ya, L-ya, L-ya.
Right.
But Charlotte...
Yeah, Charlotte.
AJ's been great. Charlotte has improved as a wrestler, which takes that whole Samoa Joe thing and moves it right out of the... So she's improved as a wrestler.
She absolutely has.
She's improved as an entertainer on the mic.
She is... I mean, she's not her dad, but she's pretty damn close. She's getting there. She's fantastic.
She's elevated talent around her. She made Dana Brooke
matter. She made Dana Brooke great again.
Somebody had to. Interesting side note, I learned an amazing... So all the shit that Dana Brooke gets for being a shit wrestler,
yeah,
she gets a lot of it.
No, she's not great.
I will no longer give her shit for any of it, though.
Okay.
I learned from friends of mine that she essentially wrestled for something like 3 to 6 months with a ruptured implant.
Did she?
And
really?
And if you don't know, that is a pain worse than hell.
Really?
Yes.
Because, I mean, I can assume the life-threatening nature of it because
it was
of the
basically like a tear in her pec.
Oh shit! Wow.
So before, and the reason why she's sort of not as muscular anymore is she's been dealing with that.
Okay.
Now, I don't know why this wasn't released. Maybe because nobody wanted to know.
No one wants to just no. I think the WWE is still trying to well, if you're gonna be a star, you can't, and you're gonna be positive about yourself. You can't have fake tits.
Well, whatever. That shows an incredible amount of fortitude and
that's
a strength that I don't even want to think about is required.
She is the woman of Dana Brooke. I don't know if that's her real name.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm sure she is scary strong. She's super athletic. I mean,
but because
she does that damn flip. I mean, most chicks, her body size and her body type can't do that.
So I'm going to give her...
She's not Will Ospreay, for God's sakes.
I'm going to give her a big pass.
Okay.
Because that is a toughness that I will never be.
No. Yeah.
And if more people knew that story, I think they'd be willing to accept that Dana Brooke is...
And I'm sure she works super hard. Honestly, I'm sure she is one of the hardest workers there. She seems like she's probably a really good person.
I don't know about being a good person. I just know that that's a toughness that is insane.
Yeah.
And I think she was put in an impossible situation as well. Hey, we're sticking you in with the two biggest female wrestlers in the last 55 years. So good luck, all right? Don't get blown away.
The two people that are more popular than any men on the roster.
Yeah. Try not to get overshadowed, okay, sweetheart? Go get them.
Well, I do remember from Breaking Ground watching over. Was Breaking Ground this past year? Was that what? No, that was last year.
No, yeah. Because Solomon was still in it.
Yeah, and then they had the special right at the top of the year. You saw in she is an extremely hard worker. She actually cares. She isn't just some model that got stuck in here.
I think she gets an unfair treatment sometimes.
No,
because
she definitely
isn't as good in the ring as she probably could be. But when you take
she wasn't an indie wrestler,
right?
And you kind of get if you're not an indie wrestler now, you kind of get a negative stigma attached to you.
See also Roman Reigns, who's been perfectly adequate, by the way.
Yeah, anybody who didn't toll in the indies for 10 years kind of gets the shit
But again, we're off topic. So just a quick aside about Dana Brooke and why I don't think she's a great wrestler, but I will never say a bad word about her after this because she's tough as nails. She's harder than a coffin nail. Snatch reference.
We're getting all of our British stuff in now because of the UK tournament.
Yeah, they're going to ruin everything.
Yeah.
So that's why
we're not even going to be allowed to watch it because it's from a different country.
Well, that's true.
They're going to close the borders on television.
Well, no, because we're happy with England because of Brexit.
Oh,
because they ruined their economy too, so we need to be like brothers in stupidity.
Yes.
What England does, America follows.
Yes.
Anyway, the winner is Charlotte because of all that. AJ is still great.
Yeah.
But he is not. I'm sorry. And he has evolved a bit.
No, he absolutely has.
A bit. But as far as all of the requirements that I just went over, the winner, hands down, walking away is Charlotte.
And she has been the centerpiece of the women's division, and she's and without her, I can't imagine we might still have the butterfly title.
Maybe, but also let's give credit where it's due. She also has to walk a very unfavorable path.
Oh.
Not only is she in her father's incredibly large shadow.
Yeah.
But
the biggest shadow I think wrestling could possibly have.
Yeah, because Dustin got out of Dusty's shadow relatively, and that gave Cody an opportunity to be real. So she also has to walk.
And I mean, look at her brothers.
Right, that's what I was about to say. David Flair, who didn't have a great career but was still a major name in wrestling for a long time, and of course the tragedy of Reed.
Yeah.
Who was supposed to be the greatest thing ever, got into drugs, and eventually died a very early and unfortunate
Which is very
death.
unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Even more unfortunate, they brought it up on TV.
I agree. But when you think about all of that, she isn't just walking, again, in her father's footsteps. No. She also has to tote with her the very real baggage that her brothers brought to pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And she's been able to not just go past her brothers, but you start to creep in on her father's legacy.
Yeah.
And we're in, what, year 3?
Yeah, all on top of the fact that she was not an indie wrestler before she came in.
Correct.
From a more shallow standpoint, she isn't like she isn't like model.
No, she's not traditionally hot.
Yeah, I mean they do her up and they make her up, and she's got fake boobs and all that. Then they put a big long weave in her hair to try to make her look like Trish or whatever.
Yeah.
And but she isn't like the traditional Gordon. I mean, she looks like Ric Flair with boobs.
She really does.
And
I tell people this: if you cover up her torso and her face and just look at her abs,
she looks so much like her dad.
It's crazy. You got to watch earlier.
And you can she is in so many ways her dad.
Yes.
And like down to the way she cuts promos. She honestly is she's become one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, which says a lot because she was really kind of terrible when she first came in, and she was just doing the gymnast crap. And
her evolution in NXT to where she is now has been nothing short of astonishing and been an amazing thing to watch. Sasha, in fairness, could easily be up there too, but we did Sasha's honors last year.
Yeah.
But I also think that Sasha didn't carry the women's division as much as Charlotte did.
No, she kind of had an off year. She had a big year.
She had injuries.
She
also got married. She went on, and that's not a knock on her.
No,
but she was off TV, etc.
They started, and she was. They literally just held her for a minute after Charlotte won the belt. She kind of had an off year. She was the. Who's a really big, epic Flair feud? Steamboat?
Yes. No. Steamboat's right. Steamboat Flair or Sting Flair, honestly, is Sasha.
Yeah, but I just feel like Steamboat would be the better thing.
I think it's Sting. It's Sting. Sting is not the worker that Steamboat was. No. But ultimately, when you think of Ric Flair, who do you think Ric Flair fights?
Sting.
So when you think of Charlotte, who does Charlotte fight?
Sasha.
There you go.
Yeah. And just about as colorful as Surfer Sting. With lots.
All right. We're running low on show.
Yes.
We need to wrap things up.
Okay.
You, our fan, need to go to Team Hammerfist at Team Hammerfist.
Yeah, the poll's going to be on Twitter.
So the poll's going to be on Twitter, or you can go to our Facebook pages, or of course you could join us on the internets all over the place.
Join the group, Facebook, Pro Wrestling Nerds. That's
Professional Wrestling
Nerds, yes.
Yes. Join our group, discuss many things with many pro wrestlers.
Buy the shirts, wrestle.shop.
Buy the shirts. Buy the shirts.
I'll get you a mug. I'll get you like the Wrestle mug, a Max Moon mug. I made a Max Moon mug. Breakfast Club mug.
Oh, yeah.
The Heyman soup mug.
That was good.
Yeah, that's just because you're just a mark for yourself.
Well, yeah, I came up with all these.
Yeah. Paul Heyman Mensch mug.
We should retweet that. So
yeah, we really should.
It's that time of year again.
Yeah.
Anyway, for the phenomenal one, Jesse Long.
I got the hair is almost. I almost got the soccer mom hair. I had the soccer mom van. I'll go with it.
Wait, no. What did you say? We have the American Nightmare again. What did you call Trump's win? Something like he's the governor of America or something like that.
He's the Supreme Chancellor.
Yeah, no, but what was the Jesse Long title?
When I was doing the fake wrestling, it was I was the General Manager of America.
Yes, the General Manager.
And I held the United States Championship of America.
Yes, for the General Manager.
Which was just this belt with United States photoshopped over it.
For the General Manager of America,
I'm going to go with that.
The professional this week.
How many awards have you won at work?
Okay, wait. I can name these.
Because you won an award for this.
Yes, I won Cosplay of the Year.
We're talking about awards here, anyway.
Yeah. I won Cosplay of the Year. In my second week on the job. I won.
That's a given.
I won Halloween.
I just stick with that. I won Halloween.
I won Mr. Punctuality, which was an award.
Never win that.
Yeah, and in other news, I've been promoted 3 times. So this company actually really likes me, which is nice.
There you go.
So yeah, and then I also won the Mayoral Appreciation Award, which is probably my most award.
Wrapping up, but not wrapping up. 2016 has been a weird year, and this is going to be probably like the last show of the year, just because between Christmas, New Year's,
it's also the 17th. There's only
we got 2 weeks left. And I'm going to Miami next week, and we're not going to do anything for New Year's. No. And we'll talk about we'll figure out something to talk about next year. 2016 has been a bit of a weird year. Obviously, Trump won. Like, literally everybody famous that anybody's ever loved died. But you know what? 2016 hasn't been that bad. We both got new jobs.
Yeah.
Because our old jobs sucked.
Well,
my string of old jobs.
Your old job sucked. My job just couldn't pay me anymore.
Well, that's true. Yeah, your job didn't suck, but it was time for you to be an adult. And
sadly,
yeah, I know.
Tie.
And yeah, you got a tie. My job sucked because I wasn't getting paid much, and my employers were entitled racist white boys, idiots. And so it's been I got a new car. I got a job that actually values me.
Where are you going with this?
I'm saying 2016 wasn't that bad.
For you, apparently.
Well, I mean, it was good for you too. You got a job with 3 promotions, and
Sure. All right, so
it hasn't been that bad. Has it been bad? I think wrapping up 2016 could have been worse. I'm being positive here.
What a great way. Remember, everybody, it could have been worse. For the General Manager of America, Jesse Long, I am the Sussman, Rick Sussman. And until such time in the future... Oh, wait, we forgot to... What did we learn?
What did we learn?
What is today's lesson? You're right. That's a good point. Today's lesson is it could be worse. It could always be worse.
It could have been worse.
As bad as things got in 2016 with everyone dying.
There we go. That was me.
With a populist president who didn't actually get elected. With Russia hacking the election. With England deciding that it doesn't want to be part of the European Union for reasons still not figured out quite a way.
Racism.
For North Carolina the North Carolina Republican Congress literally creating an insurrection and removing power from their governor because he's not part of their party, all the way down to and including the fact that TNA still won't go off the air.
Damn you, Anthem.
2016 could have been worse. Not by much, but it could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
We did, however, get some really awesome stuff from 2016. Yes. We got the revelation that Ethan is our boy, and I got to actually finally live out a lot of boyhood fantasies because I am no longer just friends of people who I know in pro wrestling, but I actually have a lot of people in the WWE who consider me a very valuable friend. So much so...
The mayor became real.
Yeah, so much so that I don't even care if I go to wrestling anymore.
No.
And it's an amazing thing. A lot of my friends talk to me and they say, hey, you get to hang out with pro wrestlers. What's that like? And I said, I don't know. Do you talk to your friends about what jobs they do?
Yeah.
When I go and hang out with my buddies, I'm so happy to just see my friends.
Exactly, yeah.
We talk about comic books, video games.
Yeah. I'm not asking you about what you necessarily do at
you don't
work.
Care.
You don't
How
care.
goes the graphic designing?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I made a shirt.
No.
I made another shirt.
So, to that end, I will always regale 2016 with a little bit of thumbs up because I got to live that dream. And if all of my friends disappear on me next year, fine, whatever. I got to live that moment where I went over to a buddy's house, we shot the shit, and oh, by the way, this is a very important guy in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And
it was a very specifically important moment.
Yeah, it was
for that guy. I mean, we're not going to just outright spell it out because that would be
really stupid.
Yeah.
But
you've definitely exercised. You've shown how to be a good professional wrestling nerd.
Well,
you exercised
the
utmost couth of anybody.
And credit where it's due. Guys like Ben in our group, Ben Penrod. Penrod, pardon me. That's another great example of being a professional wrestling nerd.
No.
He is a guy who puts together amazing shows. Yeah. He has numbers in his phone that he knows he can't give out.
No, I'm sure he does. He's got more numbers than either of us are ever going to have.
And he treats these people like people.
Yeah.
And if that's the lesson to learn of 2016, that is the lesson. it could be worse. And it's only going to get worse if we stop treating people like people. So remember, treat people like people, and you will be a much happier person.
Treat wrestlers like people, too.
Treat people like people.
People like people.
They are people. They put their pants on one tiny pant legging at a time. If I may quote a very famous pro wrestler in the indie circuit who was excited to hang out with us on a Pokemon event.
Oh, yes.
I love hanging out with you, Rick, because you treat me like a normal person. And I responded with, you're not?
There you go.
So treat people like people, and they will give you all the time of the day. That is a great lesson to learn for 2016. That is what 2016 brought us. Treat people like people. All right. One last time for the ever-reigning Team Hammerfist champion, the general manager of America, Jesse Long. I am the Sus Man, Rick Sussman. We will be back again sometime in 2017 because...
Assuming Trump hasn't just, like banned all media and, banned Facebook and banned, free thought. It could happen. It could happen. Could be worse.
And until sometime in 2016, when we come at you again... 2017, because we are Wrestle Crush whenever, and Jesse Long will find a way to ruin that statement too. Ethan, if you would,